But this is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com, Canada's #1 pro wrestling YouTube channel, over 100 million views. And I am about to give a daily news update. This is something very unusual. There is a lockdown in Florida right now. I believe from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's like even a total lockdown, according to my good friend Harry, the British Bulldog Smith, who lives in Tampa. And I am hopefully going to get a Skype interview with him soon on here, by the way. I talked to him yesterday, and he said he was going to do one. But anyways, the point of this is Florida Governor Ron Desantis has deemed WWE an essential service. The mayor of Orange County, Florida, did a press conference yesterday. His name is Jerry Demings, and he announced this. So somehow here in Canada, cancer doctors are not working. If you have skin cancer issues, they're on lockdown. If you need chemotherapy, from what people have told me, even chemotherapy is delayed. But in Florida, if you are a professional wrestler for the WWE, that is deemed an essential service. They're doing 3 live tapings a week. So theoretically, they're going to have their wrestlers traveling around the country, back and forth, seeing their families and so forth. And their families, I guess, are going to remain on lockdown theoretically. Now, I'm more jealous than anything about this because I'm on lockdown here in Canada and I can't go anywhere. I can't work my regular job that's been closed until June 30th. And these wrestlers get to still make money and go about their regular business. So I guess I'm a little bit jealous. I am definitely not for a total lockdown. I believe that the people that have serious health issues or the older people should be on lockdown. Yes, but not all of us, because it's causing a lot of problems. There's been a rise in domestic abuse. There's been a rise in people losing their jobs and getting laid off. Businesses are having issues. There's a 70% break and enter increase in my town just in the past month. And a lot of people are only going to start missing their paychecks now because it's only been a little over a month since lockdown. So wait till people start missing their paychecks. So AEW did a bunch of tapings already. So they don't really have to be concerned about doing live TV because they're not doing Dynamite Live. They have, from what I understand, about 5 weeks of tapings in the can, so they don't have to have their wrestlers travel all over the place. I listened to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio earlier today, and he brought up that he finds it interesting that they're still doing 205 live tapings because pretty much no one watches 205 live, and it never makes the rankings on the network, according to Meltzer, the top rankings. So it seems weird that they're still going to bother taping that show during all of this. In some sad news, according to ProWrestling.net, so it's them reporting this, Barry Windham, who I have done a full shooter interview with on this channel that's up free for anyone that wants to look it up, was hospitalized after suffering a stroke. PW Insider is also reporting that Barry Windham was rushed to the hospital after suffering a heart attack. So I don't know which one of these are legit, but it seems like Barry Windham may have had a health issue over the weekend. So that's ProWrestling.net and PW Insider reporting that. I'll try and get confirmation on what the issue was. I actually liked Barry as a person, but I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. His shoot interview was pretty expensive, and he's not a big talker. So when you have like an expensive shoot interview and the guy's going through your answers, answering with very short answers, that's kind of disappointing, but I did like him. I'm not saying that. He just might be a quiet guy. I also, my shoot interview with Buff Bagwell is up on patreon.com/theHannibalTV. Some people are like, why did you interview him? He's not even relevant. Well, the clip of him talking about an issue he had with podcaster Conrad Thompson has like 22,000 hits in a day. So I say people are interested in him. If you don't like him, just don't click on it. But I actually talked to Buff Bagwell today, or yes, it's still today to me. I still haven't slept. But on Sunday, after I posted the first two clips, and he doesn't care. What I like about Bagwell and Val Venus, for instance, is they're real heels. They don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of how they come off. They're just pure heels. And I like that. And for the people giving Buff hell because he's really upset that his workouts have been taken away, well, I understand that too. I've been working out since I was 13 years old, 6 days a week. I'm stuck in my house all day, even when I'm off work. Like if I don't leave my house to go to the gym, I'm in a worse mood. So to have a chunk of your life that you've been doing since I'm 37 now. So I literally have been working out since I was 13. To have that taken away is pretty bad and pretty unpleasant. So I understand where Buff Bagwell's coming from there. For the tanning, I would not recommend tanning beds to anyone. They are dangerous. I've never been a big tanner, as you guys know, from my skin. But as I've mentioned, I have an issue that I have to get cut off of me. So be very careful in the sun, everybody. Krilling876, Buff had a great role enhancing Steiner. And interestingly, speaking of Steiner, Buff said in the interview he'd sent Steiner numerous texts asking how he was doing after his heart issue, and he hadn't heard back from Steiner. So thanks again to Krilling876 for your tip. And thank you to the new Patreons at patreon.com/theHannibalTV. It's only $1.99 a month. The more I have, the more content I can create. And I post my full interviews on there ad-free, and you're helping me. But either way, even if you're watching, I greatly appreciate it. I also did an interview with Pat Miletich today, and he actually motivated me to run today because I walked my dog before I ran, and it was very cold and windy out there, and I did want to run, but talking to such a great coach and a great fighter and a great inspiration today made me think, you better get your ass out there and run. So that interview, I'm working on it now. He had the coronavirus and recovered. His whole family had it, and a lot of members of the production crew that he works with for his podcast, the Conspiracy Farm. And he's a big believer that the freedom being taken away from us for this lockdown is unnecessary. And he's had the virus. He said it was actually worse on him than it was for his wife and kids. But they all pulled through. I'm not saying it's not bad for some of the people out there, and particularly older people and people with existing health problems. I just think the effect on the economy and the effect on crime, the effect on domestic issues. Thank God I don't have a family to support. Thank God. If I had numerous kids, I would be going nuts if I wasn't allowed to work. John Rodriguez says, first, to get into your questions, Michael Lapizza says, "You the goat." Thank you. Tyler Muth Talk. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing these. It is pretty late. Where's the full buff shoot? Well, sorry, it's not going to be full here for a while out of respect for my Patreons, but I am going to be posting more clips this week. Michael Lapizra, Lord knows how they managed to get essential passes. Here's an issue that I have with that too. Like, the small businesses are the businesses that are really being hurt from this, from having to close up. WWE is not a small business. They're going to survive whether they had to close during this lockdown or not. So it sucks that the exception was made for them. Dread says, talk about how many beers. I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not really that big of an alcohol person, to be perfectly honest with you. I had hepatitis C and liver issues, so it's best that I not drink and let my liver, it's one of the issues. One of the good things about the liver is it can regenerate, so this is why I drink water, as you can see. Tyler Mutra says, buffs the stuff and he can't get enough pills. And by the way, for the people that were saying that they think he was on coke, I did that interview for him. I would say it would be considered early. His girlfriend was around. She seems very normal. And I've never heard of him being much of a coke user. He's always been a pill guy from what I understand. I mean, I'm not saying that he may not have partied with that as a recreational drug before, but I don't think that I've just never heard of him doing coke. So I think the people that think he's doing coke could be wrong. He said he tripped over his dog. It's not a cold sore on his lip. He's got a cut on his lip. He's got a black eye, and his nose is seemed a little red. That could be from this, what he says, a trip over his dog. So take that for what it's worth. But he was injured, I guess. That interview was originally supposed to happen 2 days prior, but something happened to delay that. So if it's his dog, God bless him. Let's hope the dog's all right too. Absolute Bore says, Bugsy McGraw. Ozzy Morrison, we need more people like Buff and Val. Yes, I agree. Jacob Deal says, great hype man. Dread says, we had all the bad boys back in the day. Fritz V, where's the Buff interview? There's clips on here. Full things at patreon.com/TheHannibalTV. Absolute Bore tanning beds, ad issues. Yeah. I'm no doctor, but I wouldn't recommend it. Is AEW essential too? Someone's asking. Well, they have like 4 or 5 weeks worth of taping, so they'll have to figure out where they're going to do their next taping after that, depending on the status of all the lockdowns. Ripple Shanks says the Val Venus interview was awesome. That dude is interesting. And by the way, one more thing. This person probably is not watching this, but somebody was silly enough to comment, hey, Hannibal, maybe you shouldn't be doing shoot interviews. Maybe that's why WWE isn't hiring you. Well, for one thing, I like being a reporter. This is my calling. I haven't wrestled for 2.5 almost 3 years. So I don't care about WWE. Also, they hired me in 2009. They took that contract away when I failed the medical at a temporary medical condition. That medical condition is the reason why they didn't hire me. There was a legal situation out of that. There was a settlement out of that. That's what broke up I believe the WWE's interest in me, I was looked at as tainted. Okay. So it has nothing more to do than that. And I like this. I really want to be an MMA reporter too in the future. I love interviewing MMA people. So I'd love to actually work for a company and just do my own channel on the side. Barlight broker, it's essential people that work and survive. Everyone is important. Yes, it is essential for people to work, okay? It really is. I'm not saying these people don't exist, but I don't know anyone that has this virus. It's always like a third connection. And even then, there's not that many people. I haven't heard of one legitimate wrestler that's caught this virus of all the wrestlers I know, but I do know of about 15 to 20 people that have been laid off or just full out released due to this. And they have to worry about how they're going to survive. Okay, so I am worried about those people. I'm thankful to all of you viewers that I at least have some revenue coming from YouTube despite my regular job being canceled. But yes, that concerns me. Who else do I want to interview? Stan Cormy says, the guy I would really want to interview the most right now is Jesse Ventura.